Swearing-in ceremony this morning for the new Colorado Springs City Council members. And investigators continue to look for clues after the twin bombings during the Boston Marathon. Good evening, everyone. Thanks so much for being with us tonight. I'm Niki. Zane Asher has the latest from Boston now in tonight's top story.
Back-to-back explosions rocked the city of Boston, leaving a gruesome scene of blood and destruction near a row of international flags.
Everybody knew immediately there was a problem. The smoke rose immediately above the buildings. It rose so quickly it was clear that it was a big explosion. The sound itself sort of rumbled the ground.
Tuesday, President Obama condemned the attacks.
This was a heinous and cowardly act, and given what we now know about what took place, the FBI is investigating it as an act of terrorism.
Investigators continue to look for answers into what Boston's police commissioner is describing as the most complex crime scene in the history of the department. Authorities are asking for photos and videos taken around the time of the attacks for clues. The FBI reassured victims justice will be served.
The American public wants answers. The citizens of the city of Boston and the Commonwealth of Massachusetts want and deserve answers.
3 people were tragically killed in Monday's attack, including 8-year-old Martin Richard, who's seen in a Facebook photo holding a sign that reads, quote, "No more hurting people, peace." The child's message transcended social media and echoed across the nation Tuesday as runners in Atlanta staged a silent run to honor him and other victims. A moment of silence was also observed before the opening bell at the New York Stock Exchange. And this 12-block radius right behind me has been cordoned off as police continue their investigation. So far, no one has come forward claiming responsibility for these attacks. Reporting in Boston, I'm Zane Asher.
A second person killed in that attack was identified today as Crystal Campbell. Flags will be flown at half-staff through Saturday in honor of all those hurt and killed. A 12-year-old Pueblo boy facing charges after bringing a gun to school today. Fox 21's Rachel Welty was in Pueblo this afternoon. She joins us live in the studio now with more on this story. Rachel?
Yeah, Nikki, the boy is a student at Liberty Point International in Pueblo School District 70. The Pueblo County Sheriff's Office says the weapon wasn't loaded and no ammunition was found. Meantime, District 70 says school officials were notified of the gun by 2 students who overheard or saw something they thought was suspicious. They say the students acted courageously and made the right choice in reporting what they'd seen.
What we understand was there was a video or something that was going on at the classroom at the time, and a off-the-wall comment was made, referenced it, and it was disclosed. It was shown to one of the students in the classroom at that time.
The district says at this point it appears there was never an immediate danger or threat to any students, staff, or parents. The student in question is new to the area, having recently transferred. Niki, back to you downtown.
All right, Rachel, thanks so much for that report tonight. Pueblo police arrest 2 people on weapons and drug charges. It happened at Pueblo's Southside Walmart Monday afternoon. Authorities pulled over a vehicle matching a description given to them by store employees. Stolen property, knives, and a handgun were found inside that vehicle. 29-year-old Michael Gosley and the driver, 24-year-old Ashley Warner, were arrested. Another female minor is also facing charges. Investigators ruling the cause of a house fire in Fountain as arson. It happened early Saturday morning at 205 West Illinois Avenue. K9 dogs were called to the scene. Fire officials say ignitable liquids were found inside that home at or near where the fire started. If anyone has any information about the investigation, call the Fountain Fire Department at 382-7800. Colorado announcing an interim prisons chief today. Roger Warholtz will work through July. This as the state searches for a replacement for Tom Clements. Governor John Hickenlooper releasing a statement today saying Warholtz will lead efforts to evaluate Colorado's parole system. He retired as Secretary of Corrections in Kansas in 2010 and earlier served as Deputy Secretary of Corrections. The Air Force Academy announcing its guest speaker at graduation in May. Air Force Secretary Michael Donnelly will speak at the ceremony. Graduation is May 29th at Falcon Stadium. About 1,000 cadets are expected to graduate. A very chilly Tuesday. Terry has more in the next few hours now in our Fox Fastcast. Terry?
Nikki, you're right. It was a little nippy in Colorado Springs much of the day, but a little bit of sunshine late this afternoon got us into the mid-40s, so it wasn't too bad, but most of the day it was a little bit chilly out there. We're starting to see some echoes on our TrueView Doppler, most of it to the south of Colorado Springs. We could see a little light rain or snow shower through the evening hours, not going to amount to much. Some heavier snow, though, off to the north of us, just to the west of I-25 between Fort Collins and Denver, and back in through the mountain locations. And more snow is on the way, so the National Weather Service has issued a warning and an advisory. The area in red is a winter storm warning, the heaviest snows and the strongest winds in those areas. The area in light blue is a winter weather advisory. Lighter amounts of snow, and the winds won't be quite as strong, but still travel could be tough, especially if you're going over Wolf Creek Pass, Monarch Vale, Berthoud, or Rabbit Ears Passes. They're all going to be in these warnings or advisory areas. Those are in effect for tomorrow. And late tomorrow afternoon in through tomorrow night, there is a blizzard watch in effect. That means blizzard conditions are possible. We'll update this for you tomorrow. That includes northern El Paso County, not Colorado Springs, but places like Peyton, Callahan, out through Simla and back in through the Air Force Academy up toward Monument, and then all the way out to the northeast part of the state. That's for tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow overnight in through the early hours of Thursday. What about tonight? Here's what we expect. Could see an isolated rain or snow shower, otherwise mostly cloudy skies. I think the biggest problem will be the winds. At 7 o'clock, 37 and 44 your temperatures. 9 o'clock, 34 in the Springs, 41 in Pueblo, and temperatures in the 30s at 11 o'clock tonight. So we do have another storm system coming our direction, and that blizzard watch in effect for the northern portions of El Paso County. What about the rest of us? We'll have that forecast coming up in about 7 minutes. Let's go back downtown. Nikki.
All right, thanks, Terry. Pueblo City Council facing a $6.5 million shortfall in the budget for next year. Council finishing cutting $5 million in city spending while cutting down city jobs and support to nonprofits. According to reports, Council was only able to balance this year's budget by taking $1 million out of reserves. Newly elected members of the Colorado Springs City Council sworn in today. In April, all the incumbents running for re-election were voted out of office. Mayor Steve Bach congratulating the new council. After the ceremony, a special meeting was held to elect a president and president pro tem. Keith King elected to new City Council president and Merv Bennett the new president pro tem. Two former City Council members sat down with FOX21's John Martin today to discuss their time in city government. Lisa Soletko and Brandy Williams reflected on their first days in office and some accomplishments. Here's part of that interview.
It definitely is like drinking out of a fire hose. For the first 2 months, it was just a constant bombardment because you're not quite sure how you're going to fit in, where you're going to fit in, what your interests are, what the demands are, and they have a utilities board meeting tomorrow. I mean, that amazed me. You get sworn in on Tuesday and your first utilities board meeting is the next day.
We came in with very little training. There were not, huge department meetings of how to work with the city attorney's office necessarily, and the budget and utilities, very, very minimal kind of this is how it's been in the past, and good luck, and here is your 200-page first agenda. And so that was overwhelming. We were fighters, and I think have really paved this way now for this new form of government, which is, again, to remind everyone, a council mayor form of government. And we wish great success for the next council.
It's your job as a leader to look at those issues now, so in the future you already have answers, you already have a path, you already have a plan. If you cast that aside, you're going to push it off to somebody else, and that's my least favorite thing. I hate kicking the can. I hate people who kick the can, and I think that's why we did so much in the last 2 years, because we had a bag of cans, and at this point we're like, that's it, we're going to do something with them. I'm tired of people just saying, nah, I'll let somebody else deal with that. It's a political hot button issue, I don't want to touch it. When I ran, I said if I only do it once, I only do it once, but I'm not going to regret the 2 years that I spent working in this job.
Well, for that full interview, visit our website, fox21news.com. We have some good news for you tonight. Students take to the internet to build up their free time. The District 49 Falcon Homeschool program gives students interactive learning experiences 1 day a week. 6th through 8th graders decided to take action and give their recess space a boost. And they're asking you to vote on Facebook and add to this colorful, beautiful playground. Go to the school Facebook page, click vote, and click on their school. Students hope to make recess safer and more fun for their younger peers.
They know no limits. There's really, it's a difficult thing to tell them, no, that's not going to happen, because they want to know why.
I think it possibly will remind people that kids can do things. Some people underestimate kids.
Right now they're winning by 100 votes, but things could change by contest and Friday. You can find the link to vote on our Facebook page. Just search Fox 21 News. Folks at Coors Field clearing out the leftover snow just in time for the game. More on that story. Plus, Terry will have your forecast coming up after the break.
You are watching Fox 21 News at 6:30. Live from downtown Colorado Springs, this is Fox 21 News at 6:30.
Spring may be here, but it still looks like a winter in parts of Colorado. The owner of the Rockies picking up a shovel to help the grounds crew clear off Coors Field for their game against the New York Mets. The crew has managed to get rid of most of the 8 inches of snow covering the outfield grass before the game. This will be one of the top 10 coldest games at Coors Field. Terry?
You know, you expect that kind of weather for a football game. Not a baseball game. There's something wrong with that scene. And they may see some more snow tomorrow night and early Thursday before things let up. Speaking of snow, let's start out with future view. Those areas in blue, that's where the snow is. You saw from the radar earlier, we're already seeing snow in the mountains and trying to push into the northeast. It will overnight. We'll see that snow in the mountains. As you get up tomorrow morning, eastern Colorado, probably not much going on. So if you're driving early, not too much of a problem. If you're headed into the mountains, that's going to be a problem. Then during the day, that snow starts to push out over the plains, and we're going to see some good amounts of snow between Colorado Springs and Denver, especially once you get to the Monument Hill area and off to the north. Also some heavier snows in the northeast. Now, a lot of places in the southeast may start out with some rain tomorrow, and it'll switch over to snow. Here's what happens tomorrow night. That area of snow just kind of pushes south into the southeast part of the state, but it finally starts to taper off by early Thursday morning. And look what happens on Thursday. The clouds start to clear out, and by late in the day, we'll see a little bit of sunshine, some lingering snow over the mountains. Now, how much snow are we talking about? Let's take a look and see what's going on here. This will take us through 6 o'clock in the morning on Thursday morning, because that's when most of the snow will have died down. The areas in white, anywhere from a trace to 4 inches of snow. That includes Colorado Springs. I'm thinking maybe an inch or two, shouldn't be more than that, but the winds are going to be a big problem. We could see some wind gusts up around 55 miles an hour overnight tomorrow night to blow that snow around. Not much going on in Pueblo. I think you'll see some snow, but it may not be enough to measure. The areas in blue, more than 4 inches of snow. That includes the Sangre de Cristo Mountains up over the Palmer Divide Divide and off toward Denver, and some spotty areas down in the southeast. Again, with the winds, that's going to be a problem. Let's go through and find out what happens overnight tomorrow night around the state. We will see that snow, the heaviest snows again between the Palmer Divide area up through Denver and into the mountain locations along and toward the west of the Continental Divide. Some heavier amounts of snow, anywhere from 4 to 10 inches. And again, with the winds, it becomes a problem getting around. So let's take a look at that forecast for southern Colorado for tonight. Mostly cloudy overnight. We could see an isolated shower. The winds are going to blow. Look for a low of 34 in Canyon City, 34 in Walsenburg, 34 in La Junta, right around 30 in Kit Carson. And coming up for tomorrow, we're going to see mostly cloudy skies during the day. More clouds than sun, although some breaks in the clouds. You'll see some sun out there. The winds are going to blow. They're going to increase as the day goes on. And by late tomorrow afternoon into tomorrow evening, we will see some scattered some rain and snow showers in the mountains out through the eastern portion of the state. There, the high temperatures in the 40s and 50s, but as the day goes on, those temperatures will drop in through the evening hours, and we could see some wind and snow and driving problems. 39 your high in Black Forest, 36 in Monument, 37 in Woodland Park, and 36 in Fountain. Let's take a look at that forecast. And for Colorado Springs, it's going to be windy tonight. Some areas of fog possible in the early morning hours. Look for a low temperature of 29. In Pueblo, low temperature right around freezing, 32 degrees. Then for tomorrow, we'll look for those winds to be on the increase. Snow is likely by late in the afternoon in through the evening hours. So in the evening time, snow and blowing snow is going to be a problem. Travel is going to be a bit difficult. And again, we could see some wind gusts overnight tomorrow night up to 55 miles an hour. Before all that gets here, we have a high temperature of 42. And in Pueblo, same kind of scenario, although we may see some rain switching to snow through the evening hours. The winds will be on the increase. Again, some very strong winds tomorrow night. High temperature, though, before all that gets here of 51 degrees. So going to be potentially some very problematic weather by tomorrow night and early Thursday. What happens after that? Well, we'll talk about that later on in the show. Right now, back downtown. Nikki.
All right, sounds good. Thanks, Terry. Well, stick with us. We've got one of our Foxy moms live in studio tonight with some green living tips. Stay with us. All right.
All right, can I turn your microphone on?
Oh. Can you ask her what'd she kill?
Can you repeat whatever you just said to Niki again?
Oh, okay. Okay. It's out of the way.
Can I just get a mic check from you real quick?
Hello? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is this too much stuff? Tell me if I'm
whatever
too much stuff.
Totally fine. Who are these peaches?
Yes.
So
Canned peaches.
Did you can these yourself?
Hitchcock?
Right?
Yeah.
Just want to make sure we had that.
Did you can these?
Yes. Yeah. From our peach tree.
Nice.
Yeah.
I didn't know we could have peach trees here.
We didn't.
Joining us tonight for our Foxy Moms Go Green segment is Randy Hitchcock with some ways to store fresh veggies. First, thanks for coming in tonight.
Thanks for having me.
So one of my favorite things as a kid was helping out in the garden. Love having gardens at home, and there's so much that you can grow here in Colorado. Tell us some tips for having a garden here in Colorado.
Yeah, well, having a garden in Colorado is really important, especially if you have children. If you want your kids to eat more vegetables, it's important to get them involved. So some of the things you can do is throw a 4x8 garden bed in your backyard or a small greenhouse. You can grow things like spinach and cilantro. Buy a salad spinner for $10 at your local store. Spin it nice and fresh. And for dinner, you'll have a nice fresh green salad, fresh out of your own garden.
And a lot of times, too, you can freeze these items for winter time, right? So is that kind of a lengthy process, or is it pretty easy?
It's pretty easy, yeah. At the end of the season, you can freeze all of your vegetables or even fruit you can can and save that for a later time instead of running back to the store to get other canned items.
Now, these are peaches, and I didn't even know that you could grow peaches here in Colorado. You say you have a couple peach trees at your place?
You can, yeah. We actually put a tree in this year, and it yielded about 30 peaches for us.
Nice.
Yeah.
So that's kind of exciting. Well, if folks want to go more of the canned veggie routes, what are the tips there?
When you go to the store, you want to look for canned veggies that have no salt added.
Okay.
A lot of our sodium in our diet comes from canned veggies that can contain up to 350 milligrams of sodium. You want to go fresh. Fresh is best, so look for the 9 when you're shopping for fruits and vegetables. If it's a 4-digit code, that means that it's conventionally grown. And if it starts with a 8, that means it's genetically modified, so steer clear of those.
Never knew that before. Great tips tonight. Thanks so much, Randy, for coming in.
Yeah,
we really
thank you
appreciate
for having me.
Well, if you would like to submit your green living tips for a chance to share them live, go to our website, fox21news.com, and click on the Foxy Moms link near the top of the page. Well, when it comes to eye health, experts say women are at a higher risk for certain diseases. We have more on those findings coming up in tonight's Modern Medicine. I know. Loved having a garden growing up.
Urban Garden, is that the one that's on like China Boulevard?
Yeah, there's a Harvard branch there.
Yep, that's the one. I did a story there a couple months ago about organic food.
There's still a lot of good stuff going on.
Yeah.
Do you need me to scoot over?
Just like that much. There you go. There you go.
Your little X marks the spot.
Well, it changes every day.
Yeah, that's true. It's the light. In tonight's Modern Medicine, mental exercise may help slow or prevent memory decline in seniors. Supplements may not be as beneficial. Experts say the findings provide some evidence to help doctors and their patients address strategies to help slow down or prevent cognitive decline. They hope that future studies will address the impact of memory training. Women are at a higher risk for some eye diseases than men, and one group has designated April as Women's Eye Health and Safety Month. Holly Furfer has the details.
Our vision may seem a little blurry with age. However, doctors have a very clear message.
For those who have not had an eye exam, just realize there are a lot of eye diseases out there, and virtually all of them can be slowed or sometimes even prevented if we can do an annual eye exam and pick those conditions up.
According to a recent study by the group Prevent Blindness America, women, more often than men, have leading eye diseases and conditions that threaten their vision. In fact, females are more likely to be visually impaired or blind. Prevent Blindness America wants to educate women of this fact, although they stress the importance of baseline exams for everyone at age 40. Here are some other things all people can do as they age to protect their vision. Follow a healthy diet, include dark leafy greens. Don't smoke. Always protect your eyes from UV rays. And make your doctor aware of any family history of eye disease. They say good health is important to maintaining good vision. For today's Health Minute, I'm Holly Furfur.
Well, stick with us. Terry will have a week's worth of weather coming up next.
Let's take a look at a week's worth of weather. Tomorrow, some snow possible late in the day and through the evening hours, and some winds to blow that around. It could be nasty by this time tomorrow night. 42 your high, 36 the winds continue on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. We're into the 50s. And in Pueblo, we're looking at 51 tomorrow, but by tomorrow night, some snow and blowing snow. A chance early on Friday. Make that Thursday, look for a high of 40, then 50s and 60s Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. See you at 9.
I couldn't be more ready. Tonight at 9, investigators continue to sift through the destruction, piecing together what happened at the Boston Marathon. In southern Colorado, parents react after a 12-year-old brings a gun to school. But first, here's Terry.
The winter weather is not finished yet. The forecast tonight at 9.